At many major rivers across Africa, fully grown Nile crocodiles, the apex predators that have ruled these waters for millions of years, have been found lying motionless along the riverbanks. Their skulls show severe trauma, their massive bodies are pushed out of the water, and most notably, there are no signs of them being eaten. In the wild, the death of an adult crocodile is already a rare event, but to be killed and not consumed, that is even harder to explain. The Nile crocodile has long been seen as one of nature's most fearsome predators. It does not rely on speed or flashy moves to assert its dominance. Its true strength lies in patience and timing. A crocodile can stay completely still underwater for hours, just waiting for the exact moment its prey lets down its guard. When it finally strikes, everything happens in a flash, almost too fast for the target to react. Its jaws are its deadliest weapon. With an incredibly powerful bite and dozens of sharp teeth, the crocodile is built to clamp down and hold on to its prey, not to chew. However, this strength only works to its full potential when the crocodile has the advantage of making the first move. You could say crocodiles are masters of ambush, but they are not built for prolonged head-on battles. Their long, low bodies and strong tails give them excellent control in the water. In deep water, they are nearly unmatched, but on land or in shallow areas, their agility drops significantly. That is why crocodiles do not try to dominate through constant force. Instead, they survive through strategy. They strike only when success is certain and retreat when the odds turn against them. When people first saw the lifeless bodies of adult crocodiles lying still along the riverbanks, many of them, including myself, immediately thought of Africa's usual suspects when it comes to predators. Lions were the first name to come up. With their size, strength, and reputation as the top land predator, the idea that a lion could take down a crocodile does not sound far-fetched. In fact, there have been scattered reports of lions attacking crocodiles, especially smaller ones or when a crocodile gets stranded on land. At one point, I also leaned toward this theory. Lions are intelligent hunters. They know how to use numbers and are not afraid to engage in combat when necessary. They are great at assessing risk, and once they decide to strike, their attacks are fast, aggressive, and overwhelming. In certain situations, a well-coordinated pride can even bring down formidable opponents like elephants or rhinoceroses. But if you think a little more deeply, lions usually fight in open grasslands, not in risky half-water, half-land environments. They do not have the advantage in slippery, narrow, and low-visibility areas like riverbanks. An adult crocodile, with its thick skin, low build, and jaws capable of delivering a fatal bite in a single snap, is not the kind of opponent a lion willingly takes on. Lions are more likely to avoid such danger than embrace it. The injuries on these crocodile carcasses also do not match a lion's typical hunting style. There are no deep claw marks, no signs of being dragged or torn apart, the usual trademarks of a lion kill. Instead, the damage looks more like the result of a violent collision than a strategic, coordinated attack. Personally, I do not believe lions always choose the most dangerous path just to prove their strength. They rule through calculation, not reckless battles. That is why I believe lions can be ruled out as suspects. Some people then suggested hyenas. They are tough, persistent, and equipped with jaws powerful enough to crush large bones. That ability alone is enough to raise some suspicion. But wait, if you take a closer look at how hyenas survive in the wild, the picture changes. They do not thrive through bold surprise attacks, but rather through patience and reading the situation. Hyenas rarely initiate high-risk kills. They tend to show up after the order has already been broken, when prey is weak, or when a carcass offers a safer opportunity. Because of this, it is hard to imagine hyenas as the ones responsible for taking down a full-grown crocodile right at the water's edge. Even on land or in shallow water, a Nile crocodile remains extremely dangerous. One swing of its tail can break bones, and its jaws do not take long to end any struggle. Hyenas are not built to face that kind of threat head-on, and they certainly do not have the strength to drag a multi-hundred-kilogram body out of the water. There is also the idea that these crocodiles were killed by other crocodiles. It is true that during mating season, male crocodiles can become extremely aggressive. However, those fights almost never end in the death of a healthy adult. And more importantly, the wounds caused by crocodile bites usually involve tearing, not crushing. The deep, rounded puncture marks seen in these cases look more like the work of a stake-like weapon than typical crocodile-inflicted injuries. As we begin to rule out the usual suspects, perhaps we should focus on the one thing all of these deaths seem to have in common. The crocodiles were not eaten. Their bodies show no signs of a long struggle. Everything appears to have happened quickly, forcefully, and with finality. This might be a story about territory. Another key clue: these crocodiles were not dragged into the water. They were pushed onto land. That suggests the attacker was not just powerful, but also dominant in shallow water. When all the pieces start to fit together, one prime suspect stands out: the hippopotamus. Hippos are one of the most misunderstood animals in Africa. Their bulky appearance, slow movements on land, and tendency to spend hours submerged in water led many people to believe they are gentle and passive. But the truth is the exact opposite. Though they are herbivores, hippos are among the most dangerous animals on the continent. Their bodies combine massive weight with raw power. A fully grown hippo can outweigh many apex predators, and in shallow water, that weight becomes a crushing advantage. What makes the hippopotamus so deadly is not speed or agility, but a survival instinct rooted in extreme territorial behavior. They do not hunt for meat, but they will attack any creature that comes too close to their space. Their jaws can open incredibly wide and deliver enough force to shatter large bones, not to tear flesh, but to eliminate threats as quickly as possible. In the wild, many confrontations end before they truly begin, because hippos do not waste time on warnings. They strike fast, hard, and with finality. When an adult crocodile gets too close to a hippo's living area, or worse, its young, the hippo eliminates the threat immediately. They do not kill to eat, they kill to protect. That matches the evidence. Now consider their size and build. A full-grown hippopotamus can weigh several times more than the average Nile crocodile. In shallow water, that weight does not slow them down. It becomes a dominating force. A single lunge, a headbutt from that massive skull, can knock a crocodile completely off balance. Next is bite force. Crocodiles are known for their sharp teeth and powerful bite, but their jaws are made to clamp, not to withstand direct impact. On the other hand, a hippopotamus has a jaw that can open wide and slam shut with enough pressure to crush thick bone. When a confrontation happens, the hippo does not lock down. It uses its size and force to target critical areas like the crocodile's head and jaw. The third factor is strategy. Crocodiles are ambush hunters. They are at their most dangerous when hiding and launching surprise attacks. But in the reported cases, the hippo is almost always the one to strike first. When its territory is invaded, it does not wait. It does not hide. The conflict is direct, fast, and leaves the crocodile with little to no chance of using its hunting instincts. Real footage confirms this clearly. When a hippopotamus moves in, many full-grown crocodiles choose to retreat. In the wild, strength is not always measured by fangs or killing instinct. Sometimes, power comes from the need to protect what must never be lost: territory, offspring, and the space one calls home.